I think you could sell a lot of books by creating some access to you.
What would you do if you're launching a book going into this year, next year?
Giving away an ungodly amount of books is a good idea.
Today's episode of Model to Masters is brought to you by TubeBuddy. TubeBuddy is your best friend on your road to YouTube success. I use it every day on my channel to get more views and subscribers, automate the boring tasks, and split test my thumbnails and titles. I've done over 3,800 split tests, which have led to results like taking this 5-year-old video that was getting 250 views a day, and just by changing the thumbnail, it blew up to 15,000 views per day. You can get started on TubeBuddy for free at tubebuddy.com/Evan.
Evan, it's good to see you. Thank you for having the empathy there. Congrats on all your success.
Thanks for having me, man. Appreciate the love. My question for you was book marketing. Like, where would you take it now? I've got a new book out around service. And what would you do if you're launching a book going into this year, next year?
I remember when I launched Crush It, I created this model that was just kind of natural to me because I was a retailer of this kind of like, buy 5 books, have this, buy 25 books. And Ferris at that point in 2009, on the back of 4 Hour Work Week, was just at the tippy top. And he sent me such a nice, DM of like, hey, that was really smart. You want to talk, can you talk me through that? And like, and now it feels like it's commonplace of like, but Evan, I really think tiered bulk buying is uncomfortably a big deal, because what you learn about books, similar to empathy wines on your desk, but much easier with books than wine because of alcohol laws, those books find themselves into hands. When somebody buys 100 books to get an hour with you, that person tends to be somebody you want to have 100 copies of your book because they're going to be clever or smart or thoughtful or nice. Like they don't tend to, that person that knew that access to you was good tends to not be the person that lets those 100 books sit in a warehouse or burns them. Right. They use it as collateral. So bulk for sure. I also think, so there's a dirty secret that I believe. And when I buy a sneaker, or not a sneaker, when I buy or start a candy or a deodorant, like when I get to my consumer good business in the next decade or two, you'll notice that I'm sampling the living shit out of it. Remember I said it, you're going to see it. So I think the same thing with books. I think one of the number one things that book marketing and marketers don't do well is realizing giving away an ungodly amount of books is a good idea. So another thing for you to consider, Evan, is it's not good to send me a book. And that's what everybody does because I'm not, are you kidding me? Like but it's that next 2 tiers down. There's 2,000 people in your community that most people think are the people you want to buy the book, that I actually think are exactly the people that you should send the book. And then how you package that for them to build awareness or do other things. That person, call them, a cliche person, cliche meaning the common, I don't even like that word. The person that we all know that if you have a platform and you have a book that is a solid fan of you and 4 other people, has 13,000 followers on Instagram, either aspires to be like you or inspired to extract value from people like you to do whatever they're up to. That person I think is super interesting because that person getting a book from you, especially if you give it some effort, really matters, is not taken for granted, and oftentimes become very gracious individuals during the book selling process. So sampling, AKA taking out of your own budget with your publisher, 2,000, like my toughest, I get paid a lot at this point because of how well I do with books. My toughest part is not the 7-figure advance. My toughest part for the book publisher is they're emotional about how many samples you should get. Like they will pay me millions of dollars. Like I can get an extra $1 million from them for my book easier than I can get them to give me 5,000 more copies to hand out because they're emotional about the way they think it should be done. So getting more copies to give away more copies is one. And I think access tiered selling. Buy 5 books, this happens. Buy 50, look what we're doing right now. I did it in a different form for good, but like this was access that's very difficult to get with me. And I think you could sell a lot of books by creating some access to you.
For the reach out, would you make it based around the theme of the book? Because it's not just a typical how to make money book.
No, I think actually awareness is awareness, believe it or not. I had a weird thing happen that I want everybody to hear. 7 years ago, we ran an ad for some brand, I don't remember, where we targeted Britney Spears fans on Facebook when you could do that. And it had nothing to do with Britney Spears, and it was by far the #1 converter. And I see, Sid, your head's shaking. You said, open up here. You've seen some of those elements with my content through the years, right?
I think the example that you're referring to is like the cheese rank one, where it was hit me baby one more time.
Very good, Sid. Go ahead, tell him.
It was the reason why I remember it because Andy ran that one. So it was really cheese rank was like we had a publishing arm. We were just creating a lot of content around cheese, and one of the ads that we were trying to like.
By the way,
post out there was just like.
By the way, on the record, we do a lot of stuff that you don't hear about.
And it was just we're trying to just try a lot of different copies and headlines and everything, and like one of the like Andy was trying a lot of different versions of it. Then one of them, it was like he just thought about trying Britney Spears fans and like adding the headline which said "Hit me baby one more time." I think the click-through rate went up by almost 10x, and that was like nothing to do with Britney Spears. It was a cheese ad, but just
aware. And Evan, that's the things you kind of learn a little bit from like the $1 billion world I play in with brands. Like awareness is awareness. That's where some of the logic around the things we make fun of as practitioners around commercials or like a logo, like branding. There's some real good digital versions of that. So to answer your question in a long-winded, but I wanted to give more value here. The answer is no, I wouldn't. I would go on awareness arbitrage.
All right.
The reality is if Drake holds up your book and says, this is cool, that's going to work. A small percentage of a big base is going to, you know what I mean?
I'd love to get Drake. Let's make that happen.
By the way, Evan, getting Drake, and this is again, I'm trying to bring a lot of value to everybody. So many of you have no idea who you can get to or to sample or try your products. You've said no without asking. I think Evan from afar I've watched has done a good job early in his career, like of asking, and I think he's good at it. And I don't think that's not one of the pillars that has helped him get to where he's gotten to as I've watched him for the last 7 or 8 years. Asking matters. What's going to happen? The thing that you know that's going to happen, nobody's going to reply from Drake's camp. Cool. Next. Took you 8 seconds to Control-C and Control-V.
Yeah, we're used to it.
Evan, thank you so much for having a couple seconds and being able to tell the Believe Nation a little bit about Empathy Wines. It means a lot to me that you would take this valuable real estate and time on your channel to give me some love. It means a lot. It's just good karma points, and so you're awesome. Thank you. Believe Nation, if you're into wine at all, go to empathywines.com. My whole career's work was poured into producing a wine that rivaled $40 to $60 wine for $20 a bottle. I'm just super excited about this subscription-based wine business. You can order 3, 6, or 12 bottles in subscription form, rosé, white, red. If you search on Instagram or Twitter, you will be blown away. People are literally like, I don't even like Gary Vee, but the wine's good. Super proud of the effort. Thanks, Evan, for the time. Wishing you guys all happy and healthy.
If you want to change your life for the next 30 days for free, check the link right here below me. Or if you want to see the last time I did a one-on-one with Gary Vee, check out the video right there next to me. I think you'll enjoy them. Continue to believe, and I'll see you there.